And if I was into clickbait titles, by the way, like, there's a lot of vloggers that put fake titles to get you to click their videos. I would say cheating on Bridget, because I'm cheating on her with this cheeseburger. I'm cheesing on Bridget. What am I talking about?
Okay.
How about that shit?
As a 20-year-old at the time of recording this video, it's really interesting to take a look back at the years that were on YouTube and see all the creators that have come and gone throughout the years. But there's one particular personality who hasn't been talked about a lot, who hasn't really had so much of a blowing up everything at once kind of downfall, as opposed to a slow burn throughout like 5 or 6 years. So if you're anything like me and you grew up watching YouTube throughout your own childhood, you'll definitely know that the person I'm talking about is Kid Behind a Camera, or the creator of The Angry Grandpa Show. Now, if you consider the time period in which The Angry Grandpa Show was at its most popular, it sort of shared the spotlight with channels like McJuggernuggets and Boogie2988, who both with time and one with a little bit of racism had their individual downfalls. All this is to say, basically, if you are on the internet and you make content, eventually you kind of have to take a second to sit down at a certain point in your channel's life and be like, hey, is it a good time for me to stop? Is it a good time for me to throw in the towel and just end it on a high note? Like, remember that one line from The Dark Knight that everyone keeps quoting when it comes to situations like this?
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
In this case, Angry Grandpa himself was the one who passed away and became cemented in YouTube history as an icon of the website, but Kid Behind a Camera, his son, had different plans. So consider this. Kid Behind a Camera finishes the funeral procession. Grandpa is no longer with the Green family or with YouTube. The question that Michael Green is probably asking himself is, what do we do now? And that's completely reasonable, obviously, because the face of the channel is no longer with us. He's been laid to rest, right? So putting myself in his shoes and trying to think the way that he might have been thinking in that moment brings me to believe that he had a few options here of what he could have done, right? Number one, I feel like he could have let Grandpa's legacy lie and just let it stay the way it is. Take his channel, leave it. Make it sort of like a time capsule. Like, everyone, let's reflect on Grandpa's life. And I don't know, you could mix in a few like outtakes and stuff that never made it to air originally, which Michael has been doing that. There's been a few videos here and there, and it's like, oh, look, this is Grandpa cooking something. This is really sweet and this is really cute, and I'm really happy that I get to see this. By the way, I still watch the Angry Grandpa Show sometimes. I go look at the old clips and stuff like that because I was a fan of it, and it's like kind of like a comfort thing on my rotation of comfort shows to watch on YouTube or whatever. Another thing he could have done is find another niche on YouTube, or not be a YouTuber. He could have done something else, or continue doing YouTube in a way that was like, oh, look, I really enjoy doing this other thing. It's not associated with Angry Grandpa, but I found this other thing and I made it work. And oh, look at that. Like kind of a Ray William Johnson thing. Remember what he used to do? He did like, what was it? H3, I think it was called, something like that. And like he had this whole popular thing on YouTube back then, and then he kind of went dormant for a while, and then he brought back his identity via a different medium. He came back on fucking TikTok and YouTube Shorts with like true crime. And it was really cool. And I'm like, oh, Ray William Johnson, you know what? I respect the shit out of that for you making this whole new brand out of yourself. That's really cool. Michael could have done something like that. He could have expressed his creative juices in a different way, if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't have to be Angry Grandpa stuff. You can try something new. But the thing that he ended up doing, and this is exactly what pressed the handle on the shitter that Michael was about to flush down, he decided that he wanted to take all of the fans on both of his channels, on Kid Behind a Camera and on the Angry Grandpa Show channel that he managed, take those fans and feed them nothing but clickbait, fake drama, and manufactured garbage. Here's a little exercise for you to do if you don't believe me. Go to Michael's channel, press Control and F to open up the search bar on your browser, and then type girlfriend, or type divorce, or arrested, or jail. Any of those terms, type it up and see how many times it pops up.
But wait, there's more.
That's right, because clickbait sure as hell ain't the only thing that Michael's doing wrong here. And on that note, it's time to play a game called Which Disgraced YouTuber Does Michael Collaborate With on a Regular Fucking Basis? And if you guessed Boogie2988, you'd be right. And here's a little clip of what that looks like.
Stop! Shut up, 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 shut up,
All right.
shut up! Shut up!
Yeah, he seems stable. And if you haven't been able to put your finger on what exactly the problem with having Boogie2988 on a channel like Michael's is, then consider the fact that most of his older fans probably left when Angry Grandpa passed away and Michael's content completely took a shit. So who's left? The younger people who are very impressionable, and who are we putting in front of their faces on YouTube? Fucking Boogie. And if you take 10 seconds to look on the internet at, like, I don't know, the 45-minute documentary that someone made about him, he's not a good person and people should not be platforming him. And it's almost too fitting that we're talking about Boogie2988, someone who has had run-ins with the law in the past, because just around 2 months ago, Michael's partner Bridget placed a 911 call to the Somerville Police Department and accused him of striking her multiple times. Now, just a quick content warning for the next part of the video, because I did manage to get an audio file of the 911 call that was placed. I'll play about 20 seconds, just the intro of it. It's a little jarring, so if you don't want to hear that, then skip ahead 20 seconds. I'll let you know when it's safe to come back.
Somerville 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes.
Do you need police?
My husband just punched me in the face like
He just,
5
okay.
times.
All right.
After this call completed and the officers arrived at their house, Michael was charged with third-degree domestic violence, but ultimately the charges were dropped, as he stated in his newest video. See, as someone who doesn't really follow the lives of content creators that intricately, obviously people knew about this before I did. This is something that happened like, I don't know, a month and a bit ago. I'm just finding out about this today. But only today did I listen to this 911 call, and it genuinely made me sick to my fucking stomach. Without playing the rest of the call, Bridget was like, oh, he's following me. He's following me. I'm telling him to fuck off and he's following me. That makes me sick to my fucking stomach. What I find to be the funniest part of all of this, though, is that Michael genuinely had the chance here to slip back into obscurity before the police arrived at his house and took him to fucking jail, where they took his picture. I mean, in essence, I guess he really is kid in front of the camera at the fucking jailhouse where he's getting his goddamn mugshot taken. And where he had the chance to just fall into obscurity, to maybe have a chance at, like, I don't know, trying something else, as I was saying earlier, or getting a normal job, or reintegrating into non-YouTuber society. All of that has just gone out the window because he has now subjected himself to all of this publicity. If I am making a video about it, listen, I don't make fucking videos. I never make videos. If I'm making a video about something, it's got to be pretty bad and something that I, like, at least a little bit care about. And what I've noticed is that a lot more people are talking about Kid Behind the Camera now. He's been irrelevant for fucking years. I haven't heard his name in so long in any capacity that actually meant anything, but now he is being talked about. And I really do think that's interesting. He has brought himself back into the spotlight, but in the worst way possible. The question now of all time is, did this ruin Angry Grandpa's legacy? And my answer to that is, I don't think so. I feel like Angry Grandpa is kind of cemented in YouTube history as someone who people really, really like to watch. And I don't think that's going to change no matter what happens with Michael, because I feel like most people see what is going on with Michael. In essence, he's kind of clinging on to, like, whatever he can to make money, to get that sweet, sweet ad revenue. And I feel like the era where that's working for him is slowly but surely drying up. In essence, though, as I said earlier, Michael was the one who lived to be a villain, and Grandpa was the one who died an icon on YouTube. I'm also fully aware that there's a lot more lore that goes into the Kid Behind a Camera cinematic universe, or whatever the fuck is happening with him. So if I miss something, please do let me know in the comments. I'm fully open to hearing you out. It is the internet, and sometimes stuff on here is wrong. But anyways, I really appreciate you watching my video. I don't make videos like this very often, so if you're interested in them, show me some love in the comments or by smacking the like button, or you can hit me with a sub or follow me on my other platforms. They're all linked in my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again very, very soon.
Okay, just stop.